welcome back to the channel. Miss Crocheting Coffee here, and today we're doing a coloring chat, but this is going to be a little bit different than you're used to. So I was requested to do a coloring chat where I chat with you guys and color, and then I had someone else go, Miss Coffee, do you ever answer tags? Usually I don't. Why? Because I'm Southern and I always have something to talk about. But today I'm going to skip that. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. You probably will get 2 whipping chats this week. One will be this one where I color and answer a tag, and then the next one will come on Friday. So for those of you who don't know, I record my whipping chats on Monday. Today is Monday, July 6th. It is my oldest daughter's birthday. For those of you who don't know, I have 3 kids. Minna, who just turned 14 today, Maggie, who is 7, and then Orion, who is 9. So today is Minna's birthday, and so on Friday, Minna will be making her trip to North Dakota this week, and she will be arriving on Friday with Mr. Coffee's mom. With that said, I decided today I'm going to do a color and chat with you guys while I color this beautiful image and answer a couple of tag questions that I found. And then on Friday, you guys will get the whole story about the weekend and everything else and all the stuff that's happened throughout the week. And I'm going to make that one a little bit longer to put in place of my live. I will not be going live this Friday because of Minna coming in with her grandmother. So I will be going and doing a really nice long whipping chat for you guys. It might be cut up into parts, but it should be a nice long whipping chat so that you kind of don't miss live. And I don't know how long this video is going to be because I have like 50 questions to answer and I'm going to color this image. If I do not finish the tag in this video, I will finish it in the next one so I can make sure it's a nice long video for you. Either way, let's get to this. I hope you're all having a great day. And the tag questions I found are 50 get to know me tags, because there are a lot of new people on my channel that don't really know Miss Coffee and have been really wanting to get to know Miss Coffee. So here you go. This is your chance. Now the first question is kind of a question I get a lot. So while I look for the color, I'm going to do her hair. I'm going to answer this question. Okay, so the first question that I get asked a lot is, how did I get the name Miss Crocheting Coffee? Now, and this is magenta. Now, I don't color. I'm not a professional colorist, so don't be hating on my coloring skills. If you like what you see, okay, cool. But if I'm doing something that you don't necessarily do, don't judge me, okay? Either way. So, how did I get the name Miss Crocheting Coffee? Well, I have actually had the name Miss Crocheting Coffee for about, Minna's 14 today, so about 13 years. When I lived in Pennsylvania, I did crocheting for commission. It was just a way for me to get extra money, and I've been a stay-at-home mom for a very long time, and so I wanted to be able to bring in my own money, so I started crocheting for commission. Well, whenever my customers would get their product, they would always say about how nice it was, which was always great to hear, but they would always say that my items smelled like coffee. Now, anytime I do any kind of crafting, sorry, my computer's going off. Anytime I do any type of crafting, I always have a cup of coffee nearby. I don't know what it is or why, but the coffee just tastes so much better when I have a cup of coffee nearby. So I would always be drinking coffee whenever I was working on my crochet projects, and apparently it would make them smell like coffee. So I had a lot of people that would tell me that my items smelled like coffee, so I just was adopted to the nickname Miss Crocheting Coffee. So when I lived in Pennsylvania, I actually went by a few different names, but Miss Crocheting Coffee is the one that stuck the most. I was also called the Picture Lady because I did do professional photography for a few years. And then when I quit doing that is when I started crocheting. So if I go to Pennsylvania, even now, people still know me as the Picture Lady and Miss Crocheting Coffee. And I still get people that ask me, you know, what kind of coffee do I drink because it smells good? And I'm like, it's hot chocolate coffee. So if you ever see me drinking coffee, it's either one of 2 flavors. It's either hazelnut or French vanilla, or a mixture of both, where I'll have hazelnut coffee and hazelnut creamer, or hazelnut coffee and French vanilla creamer. Well, if I said that the wrong way the first time, you know what I meant. So I always have coffee somewhere nearby whenever I'm crafting. Like I said, I don't know why. It's just how I've always been. I never really liked coffee before. And then Mr. Coffee's parents introduced me to hot chocolate coffee, and I've been addicted to hot chocolate coffee. So if you don't know what that is, instead of using sugar, I use a packet of hot chocolate. And then I pour the hot coffee on top of it and add a little bit of creamer. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And it just tastes so freaking good. So that's how I got my name, and that's the coffee I drink. So I don't drink any other coffee. I don't like any other coffee. I don't even buy coffee outside of my house. I would rather make it myself than to buy it at the store. So like I don't do Starbucks, which is why it's such a big thing about the Starbucks thing with Minna, because I don't drink Starbucks. I don't drink Dunkin'. I used to drink Dunkin' Donuts. I could handle their coffee, but I can't handle Starbucks coffee for some reason. It makes me sick every time. I don't know why, but it does. So I don't drink Starbucks. So let's get into these tag questions now, because I think that was enough rambling on about my name and stuff. First question says, are you named after anyone? Now, for those of you who don't know, Miss Coffee obviously is not my real name. My real name is Alishia Tepper. It was Alicia Harris, but of course I'm married to Mr. Coffee, and his last name is Tepper. And yes, I've heard it all. Pepper, Tupper, all the things. I get still bill collectors will call and say Miss Pepper, and I tell them, nope, sorry, no Miss Pepper here. But I don't think I'm named after anyone in particular. I have a very unique name. It's spelled very uniquely, and I don't ever give out my middle name. So it starts with a D, and no, it's not Danielle. But I don't ever give out my middle name. There's probably like maybe a handful of people on this planet that knows what it is, and either they found out what it was, but it wasn't me, or they gave it to me, because I don't tell anybody. So I don't think I was named after anybody. Like, the story I was told is my dad was on the toilet one day, my mom was pregnant, and he wanted to give me a unique name that wasn't too bougie. And he came up, and all he could think of was the name Alicia, but he wanted to turn it into something that wasn't like the normal Alicia. So he turned Alicia into Alishia. I don't go by Alicia. I go by Leisha. So if you ever, want to call me my real name, just say Leisha. L-I-S-H-A. Leisha. I don't go by Alicia because it always makes me feel like I'm in trouble. And my parents don't even call me Alicia. My stepmom will call me Alicia when I'm in trouble. That's about it. My dad doesn't call me Alicia. My siblings don't call me Alicia. Everybody calls me Alicia. I usually have my YouTube folks call me Miss Coffee, because then I know, okay, they're from my channel, not from like real life, and I shouldn't feel bad that I don't know who this is. So, yeah, no, I don't think I'm named after anybody. I think my middle name might be after like my grandma Thelma, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember my dad ever telling me that I was named after anybody. I just remember getting the story that my name came when he was sitting on the toilet one day or something. So, yeah, there's that question. 2, when was the last time you cried? Now, Miss Coffee is a gangsta, okay? At least in my head, I am. I don't cry often, and when I do, it's one of those times where you should probably run, because I'm probably going to burn the world down. But honestly, the last time I cried was probably a little bit over a year ago. I'm not a very emotional person. Just stems from like past childhood trauma or something, I guess. I don't remember why I don't cry. I just don't. But the last time I cried is when Minna left to go back to Pennsylvania when she was here last year. Because obviously I haven't seen my daughter in a year, and then on her birthday or around her birthday during the summer, she'll come and visit. And when she went home, I got really emotional and cried, and that's probably the first time I've cried in a number of years, probably since we moved and I had to leave her back in Pennsylvania. I know she's in good hands, but it's still hard when you have to leave your child, because I know a lot of people wonder why Minna stays in Pennsylvania, and it's because her grandfather died or passed away a few years ago, and her grandmother is all alone, and Minna didn't want her grandmother to be alone, so she decided to stay so that she can make sure her grandmother wasn't lonely. Because I know the stigma that, oh, your child doesn't live with you, that must mean you're a bad parent. No, not necessarily. It could just mean your child has a heart of gold and doesn't want people to be lonely, and she knows that mommy will be okay if she goes and takes care of her grandmother. So Minna spends majority of her time with her grandma, who still lives in Pennsylvania. She lives about 20 minutes from her dad's house. So she'll spend time between her dad and her Gram's house just to make sure her Gram's okay and she's not lonely, and she always has somebody there to help her if she needs help. So there's that question. Again, another long drawn out. Just get ready, because nothing is ever simple with Miss Coffee. It's never a yes or no answer. There's always an explanation. And you're probably going to get deep into Miss Coffee's brain with this one. So grab a cup of tea or whatever you're crafting on, and let's do this. So, number 3. Do you have kids? No. If no, how many do you want? I have kids. I never wanted kids. That's the sad part. When I was growing up, I never wanted kids. I didn't like kids. I don't know why. I remember my nephew, who is now like in his 20s. Good God. I remember my nephew, when he was born, I tried pushing him off the top bunk of a bunk bed because I didn't want any kids. I didn't like kids. And then I had Minna, and I was like, okay, now I really want a little boy. So when I was pregnant, we held out on figuring out what Minna was. That one of the doctors actually, I think, let it slip what she was, like gender-wise. But I told Minna's dad that if it was a boy, I would name it. If it was a girl, he got to name it, because I really wanted a little boy. I don't know why. I think it's because boys don't cost as much. Like, you don't have to buy them tights and hair bows and stuff. And little girls cost more. And I just really, really wanted to name a little boy. Like, I had all these little boy names in my head. And I thought for sure that I was going to have a little boy. Even though with history repeating itself, because in my family, that happens. My oldest brother has, I think, 8 kids. I think, because I don't have much contact with him either. I'm not good at contacting people, just to give you a heads up. I think he has 8 kids. He just had 2 twin boys. So he has 2 boys and 6 girls. He wanted a boy so bad. And so he kept trying until he got a boy. And now he has identical twin boys, and he is like, now I'm done. I was like, you should have been done like 4 kids ago. There's no way in the world. So, I have 3 kids, again, Minna, Maggie, Orion. If you say their names in order, Minna, Orion, Maggie, it spells out the name Mom, which is another reason why I don't want any kids, because it will mess up the level of that. And plus, if you didn't notice, twins run in my family, and I don't need a set of twins. Even though if I did have twins, I could complete the word mommy. But that's not what I want. So I went and got fixed after Maggie, because have you met Maggie? Maggie. We all have that one kid that's our birth control. Mine's is Maggie. No, I can't imagine. Like, my sister-in-law, my first nephew's mom told me that when she had her son, we call it the hex. What the hex is when your family tells you you're going to have a child just like you. Except for my sister didn't tell me I was going to have a child like myself. She essentially told me that I'm going to have a Stewie. If you don't know what Stewie is a character off of the show Family Guy. He's a baby, but he keeps trying to kill his mother and his family. And my sister kept telling me, you're going to have a Stewie. And I'm like, I'm not having kids. And then I had Minna. Minna's real cool, chill, laid back, mellow like her dad. So I was like, yeah, so much for that Stewie. And then I had Orion, who is also real cool, mellow, just like his dad. And then there was Maggie. Maggie is my Stewie. Not that Maggie's trying to kill me, but there's days that I question it. So, yeah. Another long, drawn-out question. Number 4. If you were another person, would you be a friend of yourself? Oh, geez. That depends. That depends. Because if I was another person, I'm not going to say that I'm a mean person. I can be mean. I do have anger issues. I'm not working on them. But would I be friends with myself? Yes and no. Yes, because a lot of people don't understand me. So, like, whenever I talk or say something, they immediately see it as an attack instead of just me trying to talk to them. And that scares a lot of people off. Meanwhile, I'm over here in my own little world thinking that I'm an okay person. I like to think I'm a decent person. Now, I can be petty. But I like to think I'm a decent person on my good days. But there are some people that are just... I have a very strong personality. I'm aware of this. And living and growing up like I did, you had to have a strong personality. And I would never change that about myself. But other people see that as kind of aggressive. And it's not meant to come off as aggressive. It just does. I can't help it. It's who I am, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So, yes, I would, but I would always be afraid. I would always be afraid that I would say something that would set me off. Because, for those of you who don't know, I have bipolar disorder, okay? You never know what you're going to get. I could be nice as pie one minute, and the next minute, I just snap. But I'm usually real quick to apologize, especially if I know if I'm in the wrong, I will apologize. But I do have a pretty bad temper, and I think I've gone to anger management twice. I failed it the first time. How do you fail anger management? You stay angry. So I have been to anger management, and it didn't do anything. It just made me even angrier, because why am I doing this? So, yeah, like, I don't know. I think I would be friends with myself. I mean, I think I'm a pretty cool person, so why not, right? Right. So the next question states, number 5, do you use sarcasm a lot? Have you met me? Yes. Sarcasm is my second language, if y'all didn't know. I am so sarcastic 90% of the time. Again, that just comes with the territory of knowing me. I am sarcastic. I can't help it. Oh, for those wondering, I am using my Arteza in this little thing here. So in my little Arteza paint splatter case, I have Arteza's Faber-Castell that were given to me from a subscriber, and I think that's it. So just like the 120 it's 120 Arteza pencils and then 60 of the Faber-Castell pencils. So for those folks wondering what I was using. Also, it was kind of funny because Pawpaw said that he went to Michael's the other day, and there was a lady in there buying Arteza products, and she was kind of upset that the Arteza products were behind the counter, and she was asking about markers or something, and I guess she was like, yeah, that's the ones that Miss Coffee uses. Now, if Pawpaw hears something like that, he's not going to be like, hey, that's my daughter. I mean, he'll want to, but he usually doesn't. So he said when he heard that, he just kind of giggled a little bit, and the lady looked at him. So I was like, yeah, Pawpaw, people know that you're Pawpaw. They just never seen you before. So, like, and those who have seen him if you saw him in person, you wouldn't be like, oh, snap, that's Pawpaw. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yes, I do use sarcasm a lot. Number 6. What's the first thing you notice about people? Eyes. Eyes never lie. The moment I meet someone, I stare them straight in their eyes. It's one of the things I learned from Minna's dad. Minna's dad, for those of you who don't know, was my very first boss. By boss, I mean, I worked for him at a restaurant when I was, I think I was 16 when I started working there. I started working there when I was 16. Him and I got into a relationship right after I turned 18, actually. Sorry, Maggie's talking to Pawpaw on FaceTime, so he's keeping her busy while I record. They're all hyped up because Minna's coming, so yes, we're all pretty excited about that. But yeah, Minna's dad was my first boss, and one of the things that he taught me was whenever you talk to someone, you look, because I had a bad habit of looking down whenever I would talk to people. I didn't like looking people in the face, and her dad taught me that you show respect by looking them in their face, not at their chin or their forehead or whatever. Like, don't look around, you look at them. And it's probably one of the most viable things I ever got from him, besides, of course, my daughter. So, I usually notice eyes first when I meet someone. What are their eyes saying about them? Because you can say whatever you want out of your mouth, but your eyes aren't going to lie. So, I usually look at eyes first. Number 7, what is your eye color? My eye color is odd. It depends. My eye color changes. Now, I know that's weird because you're like, people's eye colors don't change, but they do. Like Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee has hazel eyes. Mr. Coffee's eyes are hazel. When he's upset, they turn green. When he is mellow, they turn about like an amberish color. Like his eyes change color. My eyes, when I get angry, turn black. I know it sounds evil. It's a thing. They turn black. but then normally they're brown, like a dark brown. And it's weird when they turn black. And of course, when I say they turn black, I don't mean like my whole eye turns black, like I'm like possessed. It's just the brown part of my eye turns black. And it only happens when I get extremely upset about something. So it doesn't happen too often. Where's my pencil sharpener? There it is. All right, y'all didn't need to hear me sharpen my pencil. So, yeah, they turn black, but for the most part, usually they're brown. So let's see. 8, scary movie or happy endings? You want happy ending? I don't do scary movies. I don't watch scary movies. I don't know. Life is scary enough. I don't need that in my life. So I guess happy. I like comedies. So like when I do watch movies, they're usually comedies. The only scary movies I do like are the old 80s movies, 80s and 90s, like Freddy Krueger. I've never seen Jason. I love Child's Play. But like the new movies, like Final Destination, I've seen the first one. And we all of us that have seen the first Final Destination movie are now scared to be behind trucks that have logs. And when it does happen, you best believe I will kill myself trying to change lanes. But I guess it would be happy endings because I don't do scary movies. Now I usually am interested in seeing them, but I can't. They cause really bad nightmares, and with my vivid imagination, I can't do it. So I know it's probably like anti-Stitcherista there because she loves her scary movies, but I can't do scary movies. So next one, favorite smells. Fresh rain, fresh cut grass, sugar praline, wood, gas. I don't know why gas is a thing, but gas is a thing. I like the smell of random things. Babies. I love the smell of a fresh baby. Like, I remember, like, Orion developed eczema when he was a baby, and the doctor said, you know, stop bathing him so much, because he would get a bath twice a day. I didn't know. He was my second child. And with Minna didn't get a bath twice a day, but she did get bathed often. And her doctor, who was also Orion's pediatrician at the time, which that's still Minna's doctor, but obviously it's not Orion and Maggie's doctor anymore. He would tell me, you know, you have to stop bathing him so much. He's developing eczema. But I loved the way that, like, the baby lotion smelled on his little skin. Oh my God, it was so good. So, fresh baby. That's a weird thing to say, but it is what it is, folks. So, next question. Number 10. What is the furthest you've ever been from home? I am the furthest I've ever been from home. That depends on what you consider home. Where I live now, the furthest I've been is Pennsylvania. Or Germany, because I've been to Germany a couple of times when I was little. Again, I have military parents, folks. I was always away from home. But the furthest I've been away since I've been in North Dakota, since this is now my home, Pennsylvania has been the furthest we've been away from home. I don't get out much. I'm not scared to go outside, but all my stuff is inside. And so is the comfort of my home. So I don't like leaving it. Plus, people can't rob you too much if you know you're in the house. I'm a weird person. Don't worry about me. Number 11. Any special talents? No, not really. I'm double jointed. Even for my age, I can still do cartwheels and stuff, but I wouldn't consider that a special talent. I learn things really quickly. I'm a really quick learner, except for when it comes to math. I don't math. I do not math. I don't like math. Go figure that all my kids love math. I hate math. I don't see what I do as a special skill. But if you show me how to do something once, I know how to do it forever. Oh, I also have a photographic memory. So I can like, I can remember numbers very well. So if I see a license plate, I can remember the license plate. If, like, all my credit card numbers, I have all of my credit card numbers memorized. I have Mr. Coffee's credit card numbers memorized. I have his license plate memorized. I have his social security card and all the kids' numbers memorized. My brain is like a trap for information. And where I don't remember a whole lot, mostly stemming from the stroke. For the most part, I can remember numbers very, very well. I love the way her hair is turning out. Isn't that gorgeous? She's so gorgeous. And this is a Mariola Budek picture, I believe. I will link it down below. It was a printable off of Etsy. I think Stitcherisa showed this in one of her OMG moments on her channel. I will make one of those moments, so help me. But Stitcherisa showed an image. I think it was actually this image. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But she showed an image, and I went over to Etsy to look to see if they had a book, and sure enough, it was printables. So I bought the printables of the image. So that's what this is, because, you know, we're 25 minutes in, and I never even said what I was working on. All right. So this is weird doing a tag, just to give you a heads up. I'm so used to just, you know, talking about whatever and not having to read or feel scripted. And not that I feel scripted, it's just I'm not used to, like, having topic points. I just talk. So this is weird for me, so bear with me. I'm not good at this. I used to do tags when I first started, and then I realized, nah, I'm just going to tell y'all about my life. If I have to suffer with it, I'm going to have somebody come with me and suffer too. So, all right, next question. 12. Where were you born? Well, getting a drink of my coffee. I was born in Tacoma, Washington. Again, military family. We moved around a lot. And at the current time, because all three of my parents were in the military. And I know the first time I say that, somebody's like, what do you mean 3 parents? Is your parents gay? 1, there's nothing wrong with being gay. 2, no, my parents are not gay. My dad got a divorce from my biological mom and married my stepmom. She has been my mother since I was 2. So I consider her my mom. So, but all 3 of my parents were in the military, and when my biological mom and my dad were stationed in Washington, that's when I was born. Now, I could have been cool like my brother and sister. My brother was born in Hawaii, and my sister was born in Germany. I'm born in regular old Washington. I always give my dad crap about that. I'm like, y'all couldn't have went to some exotic place like Peru or something? Nah, we're just going to have you in the States. That's cool, right? Right. Anyway, so yes, I was born in Tacoma, Washington. And you're probably going to hear Maggie chit-chatting with Papa in the background. Don't worry about it. 13, what is your zodiac sign? Do you believe in it? Yes, I believe in zodiac signs. My zodiac sign changed, but I identify as a Virgo. Hashtag Virgo season. Yes. Now, I'm on the cusp now. Now, my entire life, up until a couple years ago when they changed it, I was a Virgo. And then when they changed it, it made me a Leo. My birthday is August 23rd. So I identify as a Virgo because I've been a Virgo my entire life. I'm a Virgo. And yes, I believe in the signs. 14. What are your hobbies? I have lots of them. Sit down. Let's talk about hobbies. I love, obviously, diamond painting. I love adult coloring. I now am in love with my Cricut. That can be considered a hobby, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Crocheting, knitting every once in a while, cross-stitching sometimes. I can macrame just a little bit. Don't get excited. Just a little bit. I love adult coloring. I love writing. I love reading. I have lots of hobbies. This coffee does all the things. Now, I do certain things on the channel. I don't do all the things. I do certain things on the channel. Because when I first started, I was a diamond painting channel. Now I'm a mishmash crafter, whatever I feel like doing that day crafter. You guys just come for the stories anyways. So I know you guys don't care what I'm working on. Which, if you're watching this, thank you for that. Because, yeah, I I stopped coloring because my coloring videos didn't get as many views as my diamond painting videos. And that's the reason why I stopped coloring. And then I just realized that you are only here for the stories. And people are going to watch what they want to watch. I can't force you to watch a video. So I'm just going to do what makes me happy. So coloring's making a comeback. It is making a comeback. So, for all those colorists out there that miss Coffee coloring, this is your time to shine. All right. So let's see. Next question. 15. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have 3. I have Achilles. He is a Pomeranian Australian Shepherd mix. He's about 22 pounds. That's the dog that lives with my parents. I have a dog for each kid because that's how I wanted it. So Achilles technically should have been Minna's dog. Daisy is Maggie's dog. And Killian Jones is Orion's dog. Killian likes boys more than girls. Daisy hates men. And then Achilles just hates everyone all equally. So Achilles is my spirit animal. Not that I hate people, just certain people. So yeah. Sorry. Again, I'm not used to answering tag questions. I'm used to just jammering on. So let's see here. This is going to be a crazy video. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have step siblings, adopted siblings, blood siblings. So let's go with the blood siblings. I have an older brother. We share a mother. His name is DJ. He's named after my dad, so David Jr. But we call him DJ because he doesn't like to be called David Jr. And then I have a baby sister. Her name is Jasmine. And they both live down south. When my family all grew up, like when we all got out of the house, everyone went back to South Carolina because that's where we're from. I decided to be an oddball. I stayed in Pennsylvania for a while, and now I live in North Dakota. So yes, my siblings DJ and Jasmine both live down south in South Carolina, and I live in North Dakota. Now, step siblings, I also have 3. When my dad married my stepmom, she had 2 boys and a girl, and my dad had 2 girls and a boy, so that made 3 boys, 3 girls. Yes, we were the modern day Brady Bunch. And that's Andre, Derek, and Letitia. You won't hear about Derek ever. I don't like him. Andre, you won't probably hear about him either. I didn't get to know Andre that well because by the time I have any memory of Andre, he was already moved out of the house. He's a lot older than I am. I think he's like almost 50, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But then my stepsister, she just had a birthday as well. Her birthday is July 4th. And I think she's 38. We're all essentially 2 years apart. So what is it? My baby sister and me are 2 years. Me and my brother DJ are 2 years. DJ and Tisha are the same age. Tisha and Derek are about 2 years apart. And then Derek and Andre are 2 years apart. It's really weird how that works out, but that's how it is. So, yes, I have siblings. And then adopted siblings, I can't even name them all. I know I have a sister, Constance, and there's Sherry. There's a lot of adopted kids. But that's just like after the fact or whatever. So it's kind of like his, hers, and theirs. My stepmom and my dad don't have any kids actually together. They just have a bunch of separate kids. All right, so number 17. What do you want to be when you grow up? I just want to be successful. When I was little, all I could think about doing was being an author, a book author. I wanted to write a book. When I was in 5th grade, I wrote a book and it actually got published, and it was called Chocolate World. Now, I've loved chocolate my entire life. I even wrote a book about it. And when I was in 5th grade, the book got published. It only got published, though, to my local library down in South Carolina. It got published to the library there. And the book was essentially about a girl that, in a dream, she goes to a chocolate world, and everything's made of chocolate. It was kind of like Willy Wonka, but with all chocolate. And my teacher was like, it was written so well that they published it for that school. Now, I'm pretty sure it's not there anymore. But, yeah. all I wanted to be was an author when I grew up. So I did write a book. I have 4 other books that I have been attempting to write. I have to be in a certain mindset to write them. So because I haven't been in that mindset, I haven't finished them, but I have quite a few books. One of my biggest, one of the people that influences me the most is Brenda Jackson. She's a romance book author, and I absolutely love her work. I love how she does things, and that's the type of author that I want to be. So, yeah, I have written 1 book, but all I want to be is successful. I don't care what I do or how I do it, as long as it's legal, which of course it's going to be legal, but I just want to be successful. I don't care exactly what it is, you know, that I do. I just want to be successful doing it. I want to essentially be an author. Like when I'm at the age to retire, I want to be an author. I want to write. And every once in a while now, I'll write down ideas. I have notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks of stuff that I've written, like short stories. And Mr. Coffee finds these little short stories all the time. And he goes, why don't you ever just publish these or get them published? And like I said, I do have 1 book published that's out now. And for those wondering, small plug, I guess, it is called In My Dreams. And I've gotten a lot of really good feedback off of it. And I know things that I need to change. And the sad part is the book had a lot of errors. Now, I had hired an editor, but they quit last minute. And I did a self-publishing. So I had a deadline that I had to meet. And the editor quit on me like the day before. And so I ended up having to proofread my own book and then edit it as much as possible. And I didn't get a chance to finish editing it. So it doesn't have like the best editing, but you get the story part of it. And that's kind of like the ideal of that. So, yeah, I want to just be successful. I want to be an author. At some point in my life, I will sit down and finish the other 4 books that I have started. 1 book, literally, I think it's done. It just needs to be proofread. And I keep thinking about publishing it, but every time I do, I get scared to do it for fear. Everybody fears rejection, and you fear rejection and not being good enough, when in reality you are good enough. No matter what you are, who you are, or what you're doing, you're good enough. And don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. And if they do, kick them in the ding dong. If they don't have a ding dong, kick them in the hoo ha. I don't care, just kick them. But I still fear that it's not going to be as good as the first book. And the first book has a sequel, and I have that almost done. I just haven't had the nerve to publish it. It took me 5 years to publish the first one. And so, yeah, I get cold feet about it, and I'm like, it's not as good. I don't think I like it. I think I'm just going to keep it for myself. And like, I've had other people like proofread it for me, and they're like, oh my God, it's so good, you got to publish it. And I'm like, I don't know about that. So yeah, essentially I just want to be successful. I don't care what I do. And so far, I mean, I'm successful on YouTube. I mean, I have more than 10,000 people that have subscribed to my channel to watch me do whatever. And though I don't have 10,000 people watching every video, I'm okay with the views I do got. I mean, that's enough for me. As long as one person watches, I don't give a crap. Not everybody watches YouTube all day like I do anyways. Okay, so. Number 18. Who was your best friend? Okay, I'm going to guess that means growing up. Right now, my best friend is Becky's Madness for Crafting and Rachel Ray. They are my 2 best friends. They're the 2 people on this planet. And I call them my best friends because if you can deal with talking to me on a regular basis and not want to punch me in the face, you're now my best friend. There's not a lot of people that I let close to me because I don't trust very well. I have trust issues, as Rachel likes to say. Rachel said that once. I don't remember what happened. We were talking about the group and adding a mod or something, and Rachel just piped up with, she has trust issues. And I was like, oh, I do. I have trust issues. I'm not going to deny it. So, like, when I say someone's my friend or, you know, whatever, they're my best friend. I have a lot of friends. I have people that could potentially be best friends. But right now, like, the people I go to if I'm having an issue or a problem or I want to talk something out is Becky's Madness for Crafting or Rachel Ray, because those two ladies are the complete opposite of me and can tell me, and they're probably the only few people on this planet that can tell me to shut up and, you know, listen to what you're saying, you're insane. And I wouldn't take offense to it. So growing up, my friend, her name was Santana. Growing up down south, she was like my best friend. I absolutely loved her. And we still talk to this day. I've known her, wow. Me and Santana have been friends since I was in 5th grade. And I still talk to her probably once a month. Not so much since COVID started. She's an essential worker, so I haven't seen or talked to her a whole lot since COVID. But her and I have been best friends for years, so. Let's see here. Next question. How tall are you? Well, if you come to my lives, you would know I grew. Now, I thought as you got older, you stopped growing. Apparently, that is not the case. I have been 6'1" since I was in like 9th grade. I am currently 6'2". Miss Coffee's a tall drink of water. So, yeah, I'm 6'2". There's really no explanation to that. I'm like a tall drink of water. I like to say that my mother was a tree. And so I'm just a tall drink of water. So let's see here. What is your least favorite thing about yourself? I don't know. I love myself. I love everything about myself. I'd have to probably say my temper, honestly. I don't like the fact that I get mad so easily. I get easily triggered by things. Now, for the most part, I have a good control over it, but there's times where I don't, and I wish I did. But my temper would probably be my least favorite thing about myself, because I don't like being an angry person. I'm usually a pretty happy-go-lucky person until someone hits that switch. And once you turn that switch on, it's hard for me to turn it off. And though I will get over it quickly, that switch will be forever partially turned on. You know how like you turn a light switch in the middle? Essentially that switch stays like that for a while. So if you make me mad, I'll probably be mad for a while. I'll tell you I'm okay, because for your sake, I'm okay. But deep down, I'm probably still farting and fuming months later. So if I had to pick one thing I don't like about myself, it's my temper. That looks pretty good so far. All right. So, next thing. Funniest moment throughout school. Okay. I got it. So, I was new to school. All right. I was new to school in Pennsylvania. I was looking for my class. And I haven't really told a whole lot of people this, just because I don't know. I just didn't. I told my friends and they thought it was funny, but I don't tell a lot of people this story. I was new and I was trying to find my class. I think I had only been at the school for 4 days. And as I was trying to find my class, it was getting near the end of the day, which is when they did practicing for wrestling practice. And I accidentally walked in as the wrestlers were changing outfits. And I got an eye full of salami. I got an eye full of unwanted, unsolicited dick pics, essentially. Yeah, it wasn't my proudest moment, and I stood there for a few minutes with my mouth wide open, because at that point I had never seen a real, like, male figurine, and I didn't know what to say, and the coach is like, "Can we help you?" And I was like, "Oh God." I closed the door real quick before the coach came over and, like, started yelling at me. So, there was that. I thought that was pretty funny. Let me just get some highlights underneath her hair here, because I want to try to finish this picture with you guys. I haven't been coloring as much as I've been wanting to, but so it's nice to do something different. And don't worry, when I do my whip and chat or whatever for Friday, I will make sure to, I'll be diamond painting then. I won't be coloring then. coloring will just come every once in a while. Maybe I'll do coloring and tags because it's hard for me to ramble and color at the same time, I think. So I think I might just do tags every, like, once a month or something. So let's get to the, and essentially for those wondering like how I'm doing this, this picture is essentially printed out in grayscale. So all the dark, bring you down into the business, all the dark areas like here are getting the highlights or the darker color, and then I'll fill over the top with a lighter color, and that's how you get your highlights, essentially where the light is. So the light's coming this way, you'd have like the shadowing and stuff. So yeah, right now she just looks abused, but we'll fix her up. We'll fix her up. So next question: how many countries have you visited? I want to say 2 or 3. Again, military family. I'm not sure. You would have to ask Paw. I don't know exactly. I don't remember. I remember living in Germany vaguely because people didn't obviously speak English, and the ones that did, they were hard to understand, and I was still little. But I remember we got into a car accident, and my dad's really cool looking, like, 4-seater Nissan. It was a 2-door Nissan, but it had the speakers on the side of the, like, where the armrest would go in the back seat. It had speakers there, and I was laying on the speaker, and we got into the car accident. My ear was on the speaker because I was sleeping, and the speaker burst in my ear, which is probably why I'm deaf in that ear. Let's go to the next one. What was your favorite / worst subject in school? Math. Hate math. Hate everything about it. Math. I loved English and social studies. I hated math. I pretty much loved every other subject except for math. Didn't have any problems with it. Math, hated my life. Me and math we're not friends. We're not cordial. As Mr. Coffee says, I can do math if there's a $sign in front of it. If there's no $sign, I don't math. I have no problem paying bills and stuff. Again, if it has a $sign in front of it, I got you. If there's no $sign, nah, not happening. Next question. What is your favorite drink? Animal, perfume. Perfume would be Avon. Avon sells a perfume called Haku. It smells amazing, and it doesn't make me smell like a grandma, so I love that. I just recently started wearing perfume again a few years ago when I found that I had an Avon lady that lived close to me. Copper. I don't want to do copper. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to pick out colors here. Let's see, copper. Is that too? No, that's too reddish. But Minna's dad was allergic to pretty much, like, he was very sensitive to certain smells. And he was sensitive to certain smells, so I couldn't wear perfume when I was with him, and I was with her dad for 9.5 years. Only 3 of those years was she around, but me and her dad were together for almost 10 years, and we had decided we were better friends than, you know, in a relationship, so we had split. We call it, like, it was a mutual thing where we just came to the decision that we just made better friends than anything else. So that's how we cordially take care of her without court cases or custody arrangements or anything like that, because there's no custody arrangement because we're 2 adults and can figure out our crap by ourselves. We don't need a piece of paper to tell us when we can and can't see our kids, so we decided we're not going to go through the courts. We're just going to do it on our own. So I don't know how that got put into, oh, perfume. So yeah, so I like Haku from Avon. My favorite animal, Piccolamacorn. Favorite real animal would be a panda. I've always loved pandas. I don't know why. And to make it even better, red pandas. I love red pandas. I also love unicorns. I don't know. Foxes, red pandas, black and white pandas, unicorns, Piccolamacorns, stuff like that. Stuff I like. And notice I'm going all in the same direction here. And just small circles around the area. Maggie is super loud back there. Again, don't mind her. Favorite drink? Coffee, duh, hello. I probably shouldn't drink as much with my blood pressure the way it is, but it is what it is. They don't call me Miss Coffee for nothing. If I'm not drinking coffee, then Sprite. I can't do dark sodas anymore. That was one of the side effects of having children, was I can't do dark sodas. They don't make my insides happy. So there's that. So what question did we get to? We got to we're going to answer number 25. What would you or have you named your children? All right. The only one I actually officially named was Orion. Now, Orion's name comes from the star constellation, and he gets it all the time, and he absolutely hates it. People call him Orion. His name is not Orion. His name is Orion. I named him Orion because I love the stars. Miss Coffee loves celestial things. Stars, moon, sun, all that fun stuff. Sorry. Because I like all that fun stuff, I named my son Orion. But that wasn't enough, because when I met Mr. Coffee, he wanted Orion to be named after a video game. Now, I didn't see a problem with this. We're going gold for her eyeshadow. Put a little bit under her eye here. We're going to get our Noir pencil. Is this it? Nope, that's brown. So yeah, so I like, there it is. I like stars. I like constellations. I like star constellations. So when it came to naming Orion, I had picked Orion's name out when I was pregnant with Minna. And then when I got pregnant with Orion, Orion is actually a rainbow baby. I had a miscarriage before I had Orion. And then I got pregnant exactly a month later with Orion. So Orion is my rainbow baby, and I wanted him to have a special name, so his name is Orion. And what's funny is Orion was born with, he swallowed fluid when he was little, or when he was a baby, when he was born. And so he spent his first 2 hours of life being flown in the sky to Danville, Pennsylvania, because he had to be put into the NICU because he was a month early and he had swallowed fluid. So we thought it was cool that his name is Orion, and he started his first couple of hours of life in the sky, in the stars. And Mr. Coffee has a video of that, which we kind of hold dear, and we show him on his birthday the video of him flying. So that's cool. So then there's Maggie. Mr. Coffee named Maggie. Actually, technically, Maggie is named after a young lady that worked at the bar that Mr. Coffee worked at. Her name was Mags. They called her Mags, which is what I call Maggie sometimes. And I had asked her, you know, hey, what is your real name? And she goes, Magdalene. But she spelled it differently. Well, I had such a strong connection with Minna's pappy, who is her dad's father, that I wanted Minna to have, because Minna's middle name coincides with her grandmother on her dad's side's middle name. So I wanted one of the kids to have a name for Minna's grandfather, because I was very attached to Minna's grandfather. He was like a father to me, so I wanted him to be a part of my kids' names. So Magdalene is actually spelled, and Mr. Pappy's name was Lynn, L-Y-N-N. And I wanted one of the kids to have his name, and since Maggie I knew was going to be my last child, I asked Mr. Coffee, would you be okay if I named her after Mr. Phillips? And he said no, and we came to the arrangement that he didn't mind as long as he got to pick out the name, or help pick out the name, and we wouldn't just go with Lynn. And I was like, no, I don't want to go just Lynn. I'm extra. I got to be extra. So Maggie's name is Magdalene. And then, of course, she's named after Isabella Swan from Twilight, so Isabella. And then her uncle, who is now her auntie, Jocelyn, his middle name is Skylar. And so Maggie's middle name is Sky Tepper. And then Orion, Mr. Coffee wanted to name him after a video game, and I said fine, but I got to pick the names. So we went with Sebastian, which is the guy from Cruel Intentions, or Sebastian the Crab from Ariel from Little Mermaid. Dominic was the name of one of the bouncers at the bar that I really liked that worked with Mr. Coffee. And then there was Tepper, which of course is our last name. And then Minna, she's just named after her grandmother and her aunt with Elizabeth, and then her name is Phillips. So I didn't finish her, but I'm going to time-lapse the rest of it because I don't know if I have enough time to answer one more question. No, I'm going to leave it at question number 25, and we'll finish the rest of the questions on Friday when I do that whip and chat with my coloring or with my diamond painting. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to see the finished product of this, keep watching. A time lapse is going to appear where you will see me coloring this super fast. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this isn't your regularly scheduled program, but I thought it would be nice to let some of the people that are new to the channel get to know a little bit about Miss Coffee and what makes her, you know, go completely insane. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly put up a video. And believe me, it's random. With that said, I really must bid you adieu. But not before reminding you, like I always try to be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys. Stay tuned for the time lapse. I'm going to finish it for you guys.